So earlier we discussed regarding about barriers, different types of the barriers, and these barriers uses by chemical methods also. So these are contains spermicidal creams, jellies, foams are usually used along with these barriers to increase their contraceptive efficiency. So whenever the females are using diaphragms or walls or cervical caps, for that diaphragms or walls or cervical caps, they will apply spermicidal creams, jellies and foams. What is the reason they will apply spermicidal creams, jellies and foams? Are usually used along with these barriers to increase their contraceptive efficiency. So what is spermicidal creams, jellies and foams? Spermicidal means the killing of the sperms. The creams contains chemicals, it kills the sperms, and jellies and foams also, it kills the sperms. Whenever the usage of diaphragm walls and cervical caps, it prevents, it blocks the sperm entry inside the uterus. In case any leakage is there, for example, so that time the completely the semen is in the sperms are going to be killed by the chemicals. So the diaphragm walls and cervical cap should be applied by spermicidal creams, jellies and foams. There is contraceptive efficiency is increase their contraceptive efficiency, right? And these are introduced in the vagina prior to the sex. Before the sex only this should be introduced. What should be introduced? Diaphragm walls and cervical caps. Sometimes diaphragms, walls, cervical caps are not available. That time some of the females, what they will do, the females should apply these spermicidal creams, jellies and foams directly to the water, directly to the vagina, and by herself, by themselves. Then obviously whenever male releases the semen, that time only the sperms are going to be kills. Understood or not, right? So these are contains spermicidal creams, jellies and foams are usually used along with these barriers to increase their contraceptive efficiency, and these are introduced in vagina prior to the sex. Before the sex only this should be introduced. What should be introduced? Spermicidal creams, jellies, foams with barriers. After the usage of coitus there is no use. So these are introduced in the vagina prior to the sex only, right? Up to this clear? So this is regarding about barriers. And next type of the barriers or next type of the contraceptive methods are next type of the barriers, next type of the contraceptive methods. Next type of the contraceptive methods are IUDs, artificial contraceptive methods. IUDs are also called as intrauterine devices. IUDs are also called as intrauterine devices. So these are the devices, things which is keep inside the region of uterus. So IUD is for whom? IUD is for only females, right? IUD is intrauterine devices. These are effective and popular contraceptive method. IUDs are very most effective and popular contraceptive methods in our country. These devices are inserted by the doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through the vagina of the female. These IUDs, intrauterine devices, are inserted by the doctors or expert nurse into the uterus through the vagina. These are not self-inserted. The couples or those couples are don't want children during long period, long tenure after the marriage, like 2 or 3 years. That type of the couples are going to be follow the method of IUDs. And these are not self-inserted. These devices are inserted by whom? These devices are inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through the vagina only. This is like a minor surgery. Because of surgery means what, it should be inserted by doctor and expert nurse only properly, so it is not self inserted as like condoms and cervical caps and diaphragms, right? And the types of IUDs, so intrauterine devices types. So types of IUDs, there is majorly three types of IUDs are available. Those are non-medicated IUDs, copper releasing IUDs, and hormone releasing IUDs. There is three types of IUDs are available: non-medicated IUDs, copper releasing IUDs, and hormone releasing IUDs. Very most important in the PU point of view and as well as in the objective point of view also. The types of IUDs, there is three different types of IUDs: non-medicated IUDs, copper releasing IUDs, hormone releasing IUDs. Non-medicated IUDs, example lips loop. Non-medicated IUDs example is lips loop. So there is so many different types of IUDs are available. So one of the example is lips loop. And next one, copper releasing IUDs, example copper T, copper 7, multi-load 375. Types of IUDs and examples are most important, right? Copper releasing IUDs, copper T, copper 7, multi-load 375. And hormone releasing IUDs, hormone releasing IUDs examples are progesterone and LNG20. The hormone releasing IUDs examples are progesterone and LNG20. So what are the types of IUDs? IUDs are three different types are available: non-medicated IUDs, copper releasing IUDs, hormone releasing IUDs. Non-medicated IUDs example lips loop, and copper releasing IUDs example copper T, copper 7, multi-load 375. Hormone releasing IUDs, hormone releasing IUDs example progesterone and LNG20. Up to this clear? These are the three different types of IUDs and examples. So IUDs are these devices are inserted by doctors or expert nurses only into the region of where, in the region of uterus through the vagina of the females, right? Effect of IUDs. IUDs increases phagocytosis sperms within the uterus. How IUDs are work, and what base and what principle IUDs are work? IUDs increases phagocytosis of sperm within the uterus. Phagocytosis, directly sperms are engulfed by the chemicals which are presented in the region of IUDs. IUDs consist with chemicals, and IUDs are increases phagocytosis of the sperms within the uterus. Whenever sperms are phagocytosis means what? The sperms are directly eaten, directly engulfed by the chemicals which are presented in the IUDs. Then obviously sperms are not reaches up to the fallopian tube, but there is no fertilization, there is no pregnancy. The copper ions released suppresses sperm motility and the fertilizing capacity of the sperms. Whenever the copper releasing IUDs, the copper ions released suppresses sperm motility. The copper ions, whenever the copper releasing IUDs are using, the people are using, that time the copper ions released suppresses sperm motility. Whenever from the copper releasing IUDs, copper ions are released and it suppresses the sperm motility. Sperm motility is decreases, and the fertilizing capacity of the sperms also decreases. Obviously, whenever sperm motility is decreases, sperms are unable to reach up to the region of fallopian tube. There is no fertilization, there is no pregnancy, right? And the hormonal releasing IUDs in addition, so hormonal releasing IUDs also phagocytosis, exhibits phagocytosis and suppresses the sperm motility, and in additional it make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and cervix hostile to the sperm. whenever the hormone